Hello YouTube land. On this week's YouTube video I'm going to give you a guide to Resonator guitar cases. So behind me is a wall of cases, from cheap cases up to the very best of the best, custom made cases, very expensive, everything in between. I've got a vintage one, I've got a modern one. So what I'm going to do today is just explain maybe what's good about them, which ones fit a Resonator, which ones will keep your Resonator safe. So if you're looking at buying a case, keeping your Resonator safe, you should figure out from this which is the best case for you. So to get more of this kind of content, do press the subscribe button, press the bell icon, you'll get notified. If you find these videos useful, then help us in return. You can go to the description and there's links to all our stuff. You can buy a t-shirt, you can buy a CD, you can buy us a coffee. It all really helps. Find us on Spotify. That is all a massive help. Thank you. So let's start at the very beginning. When you look at a guitar like this is a 12 fret National Resophonic guitar. One of the first questions I see people asking on the Facebook pages, the forums, they go, I want to buy a case, what size do I buy? What you need to know is that back in the day when National started inventing guitars, I believe the story goes, they literally got what we now know as like a classical guitar or a Spanish guitar, a nylon string guitar, and drew around it. So this is basically the same size as a classical guitar. So if you just go onto, wherever you buy your cases from, eBay, the shop, and you ask for a classical guitar size case, your National will fit it. Now there are a few little things to do with the arches of the case. We'll get to that later on. You could also find that like a typical 00 size Martin case, the 12 fret 00 size Martin guitar would also fit a typical National Resonator. So this is a 12 fret. You may have a 14 fret guitar. They would fit in the same case. There'd just be a little bit of space on the 14 fret. So there we go. It's that simple, right? No, there's a few different options. Let's go through them. I might just move the camera and then I'll just walk you through what these options are. So let's start with just basic option one that I kind of swear by, really. I really like these foam padded cases. Now you can see that this one is absolutely destroyed. I'll explain about that. So basically, this is a classical guitar foam case. Now I got this, basically when I do gigs, I take a banjo and I take a ukulele normally. So this case had shoulder straps. So I used to find if I, put this guitar over my shoulders, I could then carry the other two instruments. I could go straight into a typical gig where I'm just playing acoustically in one trip to the car. So literally the shoulder straps do save me extra time getting, to and from the gig. So that was a big thing. Now I used to have just a soft padded bag and I used it for about a year and a half with this guitar in it. It was fine. And one day the guitar slipped, fell on its front, it crushed the cone. So I then got one of these foam pod cases and I have never had a problem since. Now I bought this case probably 5 years ago. I've done at least 160-70 gigs a year, probably 30 rehearsals, 40 rehearsals. This thing has probably been used 1,000 times perhaps, and it's ready to be replaced. Oh look, it's got some grass in it. But yeah, these foam pod cases, these 00 classical sized foam pod cases, I think they're great. I paid £50, so probably, I don't know, $70 say, for one of these 5 years ago, and it's been absolutely magnificent. Okay then, let's go case number two. So this is like your next step up really. This is just a cheaper sort of aftermarket case. It's got some tape on. When I flew back from America with a new guitar I bought, well, an old National I bought, so you excuse the mess on it, but so this, again, is just a very cheap aftermarket case. You see these cases for probably around £50, $70. It's kind of thinner. Now, this is one of the first problems you'll notice with kind of Resonators, is because of the nature of how these stick up. Sometimes what you find is that these flat cases, when they close, the Resonator is almost, the handrest is almost touching the inside there. So one strike, especially if you're flying, or just something drops in a van if you're driving, you could very easily push this in and crush the guitar. But I'm just showing you this, that first of all, this is how a classical case fits. If you're careful or you just want some sort of basic protection, this is a great way of doing it, and you'll see it fits perfectly well. We'll move up the scale now. Here we are, option number 3. So this is an official National Resophonic case. I've put the guitar in that belongs to this. This is my tricone. This case came with my tricone. And so what you'll see about this case, first of all, is the custom-made case is such a better product than the last one. You see, first of all, there's more space and more padding. So if this was to take a bad knock and even the case got destroyed, there's probably enough space to save the guitar. The key thing about these specialist cases is that you'll see that the top of it is actually arched, so which means that there's more space between the handrest. So even again, I would feel very confident, even if you absolutely caved in this case, I think the guitar would survive. The other thing as well, which is really nice about these, is it's just angled. One of the worst ways you can sort of snap a headstock in a guitar, especially when people fly, is if the neck moves, if the case gets dropped. There can be like a ricochet effect. Well, what they do with these ones, there's this padding, the angles are worked out, so that actually once the guitar's in, the neck can't move. So these cases are fantastic. You can buy these aftermarket. They're about, I think $300, $250. So it's kind of expensive, but your guitar is as safe as houses. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just shove a 14 fret in so you can see how that looks. So here's my 14 fret Trojan. You'll see it still fits in very snugly. I've put this in just to show you something. The Trojan, this is just for you people that have one of these odd guitars. The Trojan has a much deeper body than a regular National. Most regular Nationals are a bit thinner. So this still goes in, still closes. It's a little, a little bit tight, but it shows you that even, a thicker body or 14 fret fits in very snugly. Right then, so here's a genuine, very nice 1934 case, and I've put in my guitar that matches it. This is my 1934 style O, and this is a very good case. This is a high quality case that came with the guitar. Often you see some of these guitars, they come in cases from the era which are made out of like what they call cardboard cases. I'm not sure what this is. Probably thin plywood. But yeah, you see some really cheap, they kind of have like an alligator kind of finish, skin finish, and they're really thin, they fall apart. Well, you know what, I've had some of those cases with some of my old Nationals, and it's cool to have the original 30s cardboard cheaper case. It's cool. This is a 30s case that's much more substantial. Just look at that colour. I've not seen this guitar in this case for a while. Just look at that colour. Just the whole set looks beautiful. And one of the funny things and the joys about some of this stuff sometimes is what you find. So I bought this guitar. It has this Jewish, I don't know what the right word is. I'm sorry to any Jewish people watching for getting this wrong. Is it a skull cap or something? But anyway, that was in the case. So yeah, I mean, it gives you a piece of history about this guitar, which is really cool. If you want to find out more about this guitar, there's a guitar story video about my 1934 National and how it was, a deal was struck by a very poorly man at the time for me to look after it for him. So that's an interesting tale and tells the tale about that. Right, this is the fifth and final case. This is the Rolls Royce of cases. I wish there was a drum roll happening. So what this is a Calton case. Now, this is one of the ones that was made in England, and the franchise is sold now to a chap in, I think it's somewhere in America, I think. So let me just give you a bit of history about this, then we'll show you how this works. So basically, these are the best of the best, and these are handmade. They're made out of fiberglass. Often, they can even literally custom make it. You take your guitar, and they absolutely sort it out for you. They just literally build the case around the guitar. So you are talking, over £1,000 or over $1,000. The idea behind these cases is that they're, pretty much water sealed, airtight. I've heard people say, that they've seen these being dropped downstairs and the guitar's fine afterwards. So this is the best of the best. This comes with a guitar that's on loan that's going to go away soon. You might have seen a guitar story video on our channel about the gold Dobro that belongs to my friend Lee Holiday. So check him out on Instagram, Leophonic. He's got some really nice stuff. So what you'll see, this would already fits, a 12 fret National, but I've just put Lee's gold guitar in there to show you. But just, look at this. It's absolutely beautiful. Plenty of space around it. Again, it's got the arch top on it. So fiberglass. That is the best of the best. If you're a professional touring musician, you don't need to see this video. You probably already know that you want a Calton case. But yeah, that you could fly and fly and fly. I've heard stories about people that had these Calton cases and they were touring for decades, basically with no issues. flying, you know, dozens of times a year, and their Resonator guitar came in and out without any issues. So, you know, if you're at that level, this is the case for you. Okay, then there we go. That is 5 different kinds of cases and the pros and the cons, as well as a general idea. So I hope that really helps. If you've got your own experience of cases, you know, like ones that have worked or haven't worked, then let's use our videos and make them into a resource for people for the future generations. So pop your kind of comments below about cases and what's worked and what hasn't. That really, really helps. Also tell us of any videos you'd like to make. I've got a list of suggestions and I'm trying to work through them. So we really want your input. Otherwise, the best thing you can do to support the band is go to this description below and join the mailing list. We'd love to tell you a few times a year if we've got a record coming out or some gigs coming up, and that's it. That's the best way to support us. Otherwise, yeah, like and subscribe, and we'll look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thank you for making it this far. Thank you for watching. It's appreciated. Bye-bye for now.